a single word. Go
Stumble
ahead.
through my sentences? What are you talking about?
No, I'm not even talking about it.
Rancho,
So you're
you
not
said
even tracking the
something?
conversation.
Okay,
I
well,
said
hang
Chase.
on,
Obviously,
hang on, Ash,
your name's
hang on,
not
just
Chase,
real
right?
quick. Hang on,
Sounds like
just
you're
real
lying.
quick.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay,
Just
we
real
can
quick.
go back and
Rancho,
I
you
obviously
said,
said Chase. I don't know
hang
what
on,
you're talking about.
hang on, just real quick. Okay, Rancho, you said that they answered, but it wasn't sufficient. Like, can you
Well,
elaborate on that?
yeah, what was the
Yeah.
answer, Rancho?
Yeah, because Kojo's asking for, I mean, I'm presuming some sort of empirical study like the Phil paper survey that would indicate that the majority of philosophers converge on
Now
particular
pause.
thesis.
Now pause. Did you or anyone else in this live hear Curtis or Ash cite something like this or even close to this at any point in the conversation, Rancho?
No, I didn't. That's why I
So
said it
then
wasn't a
therefore,
sufficient footnote.
therefore, Ash is lying and never actually answered the question, right? Unless there was some other data that she was going to appeal to indicate.
That's
that
fine. If
this
you
is
wanted
some type of
empirics, you
general
could have just
consensus.
asked. I can get it now.
Wait, hold on a second. So if you didn't give me empirics, what did you give me that was an answer to the question, supposedly?
Sorry, I told you that I told you that this person, or sorry, this notion of personhood is
Stop
just
stumbling
something that
through your
was widely
sentences.
said.
Remember how you told
And then
Chase
he's
not to stumble
interrupted
through
me
his
again, like the
answers?
monkey that he is. You just can't
Remember how you told Chase not to stumble through his sentences?
resist interrupting.
You're doing
Can
that,
you?
so stop stumbling and answer the
Can
question.
you?
Right?
I'm not stumbling. I'm not even
What was the
stumbling through
response
my
that you
sentences.
gave?
I just told you
What was
that
the
it seems
non-empirical
like you
evidence that you
can't
gave?
stop yourself from interrupting people because you just have these monkey instincts, and it's embarrassing. Do you think that you
Wow.
look good
Wow.
interrupting people? Okay, why are
The
you?
rhetoric.
And
The
now he's
rhetoric is just
clapping.
amazing, Ash. Good job. Now, can you answer my
All right,
question?
that's fine. If you just wanted empirics and that you wanted me to incite empirics,
That wasn't
then
my
that's fine. I
question,
could
by
have
the
just
way.
gave that to you.
That wasn't my question. Did you
Okay.
forget the question?
Now you can repeat the question because you were
Oh,
saying
you
it in
need
the
me
middle
to
of my
repeat the question
sentence.
again? It's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
you
repeat
can
the
repeat the
question.
question because you were talking
Yeah, it's
over me
okay.
while you
I'll
were
repeat
giving
the question for you. Yeah. So the
Yeah,
question
that's
that I
fine.
asked you was, if you did not cite empirical studies to answer the question, which would have been an appropriate response for the question, right? Since, by the way, for your pea-sized brain, in case you didn't know, if you're going to be making claims on what most philosophers believe, that's going to be an empirical claim. And so the appropriate evidence for empirical claims is going to be, guess what, you fucking idiots? Empirical evidence, which you actually never provided, which means you never actually answered the question. So now, unless you're telling us that you have some non-empirical evidence, which you're going to appeal to demonstrate this empirical claim that most philosophers do X or most philosophers believe in X, then go ahead and tell us what it is.
That's fine. I can just cite empirics since he's like
Oh,
desperate.
so wait, hold on a second. I did not ask you to cite empirics. You said that you answered the question twice.
And then
You
Rancho
said,
had to
hold on a
be clear
second,
on
we're
your
going to get to the
behalf
empirics.
to actually
We're going
get
to
the
get to the
question
empirics.
correct. Your own
Just let
friend
me-
Rancho had to articulate the question for you because it seems
No,
like
actually,
you
he
can't do
didn't.
that.
He
What are you
didn't.
talking
He
about?
said the same thing that I did, and Rancho's
Nope,
up here to help you.
no,
And Rancho's up here to help you.
you guys
not me.
did not say the
So
same
let's not
thing.
get it twisted.
Of course
Rancho's
you
not
guys
up here
did
to help
not say
me.
the same thing.
I don't need help. Rancho's here to help you, right? So let's
And
not
that's
get
fine. You
that
guys
twisted.
did not say the same
Now,
thing. You guys
to
did
the
not ask
second
the
thing
same
that I'm
thing.
saying, we can get to the empirical
You
studies
guys,
later.
do you really think that
Can
you
you
were
stop
asking
talking
the
so I
same
can
thing?
actually say what I'm saying?
I
We
just
can
want
get
to
to the
ask you a
empirical.
question.
Look, this
It's
is
a
a sign that
clarifying
you
question.
it's a
It's just a
clarifying
clarifying
question.
question.
It's a clarifying
Yeah.
question, even though I'm
Yeah.
literally in the middle of clarifying for you, and you're asking me a
Okay,
clarifying
so
question.
you were in the middle of
clarification.
clarifying the question, even though you
Yes.
didn't even hear the question.
What question? I'm the one who's asking the question
Okay, so
here. What
now
are you
you're
talking
asking
about?
what question
I'm
because
the one
you
who's
didn't
asking you a
actually hear the
question.
clarifying question.
You are
something that you
talking
were
over me
supposed to
because
be
you're
clarifying.
scared, and this is
You
like a
didn't hear the
tactic to get
question.
the audience
So
to
you
be
don't even know what
distracted
you're
from the main point of the conversation, which is happening.
you don't
You're
even know
trying
what
to
you're
distract
supposed
the
to be
audience.
clarifying.
You are
That's
trying
funny
to
to me.
distract the audience from the conversation, which is
I'm
happening. It's not gonna
distracting the
work.
audience, but you don't even know what
We
you're
can get
clarifying
now.
for the
I'm gonna
question.
actually speak to Rancho because you are incapable of being spoken to. Right? So
Oh
Rancho,
my
unmute
god,
your
he
mic.
doesn't even understand what he was
Go on
supposed to be
mute. Go
clarifying.
on mute. Go on mute. Rancho, unmute your mic. Are you here?
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, Rancho, I have no problem with this idiot citing whatever empirics she believes she has. I have no issue with that. What I'm saying is that if she's making the claim that she did in fact answer the question twice, which she did, right or wrong, Rancho?
Yeah.
Did she not say she answered the question twice?
Yeah.
Okay. And she also just admitted a moment ago that she did not give any empirics, that she's about to give empirics, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So that means that the two answers that she gave has to be something which is non-empirical, right?
Yeah.
So am I wrong to ask, if you are not lying, then just tell me what the non-empirical evidence was that you were appealing to? Am I wrong in asking that?
Yeah, I think that's a justified question.
Okay, great. So Ash, answer that question right there. Since you claim you answered my question twice, what was the non-empirical evidence which you appealed to in order to answer the question? And then you can give the empirical evidence that you have.
Okay, that's fine. I just told you that I was referring to literature by philosophers like David Chalmers and other people like that.
So referring to that's the non-empirical evidence that you had? David Chalmers, you said?
Yeah.
So has anyone in this live ever heard the name David Chalmers in my conversation with Ash
yeah,
up until this point?
if I was
Hold on a
finished
second.
in-
Don't do the damage control. Has anyone in this live at any point before just now heard the words David Chalmers come out of Ash's mouth in our interaction? Please confirm or deny. Everybody can come off mute. You guys can confirm or deny if you heard anything even remotely close to that up until this point.
Nope.
So you're lying. right? You never actually said that. You were doing the rhetoric
I
thing,
referred to literature
right?
by philosophers. Yes, I
And
did.
that's empirical, you idiot. You said you were giving me non-empirical evidence. So how are you going to cite me something empirical when you said that you appeal to non-empirical evidence for the claim? So which one is it?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so when you say, or sorry, when you ask me a question that refers to empirics, can
Why do
somebody
these
put him
people
on
lie?
mute?
Why
Okay,
do
can
you
somebody
people
put him on
try
mute?
to lie
Because
to
he's
me?
trying to spurg and
I'm a
talk over
grown-ass
me.
man. You
Okay.
really sit here and think that you can lie to me?
Yeah, you are grown. And see
You think
how
you
you're
could lie
yelling
to
into
me?
your mic? You are grown.
You
Okay,
thought
you
you
are
could
grown.
lie to me,
Right?
Ash. Is that
And
what
then
you
you
thought?
keep yelling into your
You thought you
mic
could
and
lie
calling
to me
people
and we were gonna
idiots
like pick up
because
on that
you
fact?
get
Is that what you
dopamine
thought?
off of that and it makes you feel better about
These
yourself.
little ass
That's
kids
fine.
think they can come up here and lie.
Little
and
ass
they
kids.
can
Who's
get
a
on.
kid?
It's
I'm
crazy.
confused, Kay. Who's a kid?
You're a kid.
I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
how
we're
am
not
I a
going to talk
kid?
about that conversation though.
No,
We're gonna
we can have that
about being
conversation
kid.
on live right now.
Oh,
What are
I'm
you
sure.
talking about?
I'm sure you're desperate to get into the meta because you have no.
Yeah, no,
substance.
that's
I'm
fine.
sure
We can
you
have
are.
that conversation
I'm sure you
because
are.
you're the one
We
that
can
wanted
get
to
to
bring
the
it up.
meta
And I told
once
you
you
that.
address my
Sorry,
question.
you're the one
So
that
now
brought up
provide
the
the
meta,
empirical evidence
but
for the
now
claim.
you don't want to engage in the meta, even though you're the one that brought it up. That
Can you
makes a
provide the
lot of
empirical
sense.
evidence for the
So now
claim?
we can get back to the
Can you provide the
conversation,
empirical
even
evidence
though
for the
you were the one
claim?
that brought up something that was
Can you provide
completely
the
irrelevant
empirical
to the
evidence for the
conversation.
claim?
That's fine.
Can you provide
So
the
yeah, that's
empirical
fine.
evidence for the claim?
I told you that I'm gonna go get the empirics right now.
Yeah, so go do that.
All right, yeah. You can just keep venting on live if it makes you feel better.
Venting about what? Why would I need to vent when I'm calling you out for being a liar? How's that venting?
I remind everyone that the motivation was that there was this consensus among the philosophers on what personhood was, and that's why I should accept it, not just a
If
few
you were tracking the
philosophers.
conversation, then you would understand that I gave you two motivations. But if you can name the other motivation, I would be fine too.
Yeah, consequentialism.
How is that a motivation for?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I just want to be clear. Me
think
explaining that the
consequentialism
approach
is a
view was going to be
motivation for
contingent
any
upon the
view of
normative view,
person?
and which I gave motivation for the normative view as well.
You didn't
And
ask me
I don't
for
see how that's a
motivation for
problem.
normative view.
Care
Obviously,
about the normative view.
obviously
I
the
was
conversation's
asking
going to be
you
contingent
to
upon
why
didn't
the
I
ask
should
me
normative
for
accept
framework. So I
your
don't know what you're
motivation.
talking
analysis of
about.
person. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted this whole time was motivation, independent of any conclusions you have that prove why or that
And
prove
then
why I should accept
if you were
your
tracking a
analysis
conversation between
on
me and
personhood.
Saucy,
Aren't you
and
supposed
then
to be getting the
I gave him
empirics?
motivation. Sorry, someone was
We're
talking about
distracting
my
you.
Are you
position.
apologizing because you're not doing
Yeah,
what you said you're going to
no,
do?
I was saying sorry because you can't stop your monkey
Then
instincts.
can you stop
interrupting me.
apologizing and go
That's
get the
why I
empirics?
started it. That's why I said sorry. What are you talking about?
Okay,
So,
I don't really
like I said,
care.
the
Just go get the
conversation that I was
empirics.
having with Saucy, and then he's gonna keep talking over me. Do you have any types
I mean,
of
we don't
instincts
really
at
want to
all
hear like a
that
recap
stops
of
you?
the
Do you have a
conversation.
tick or
Pretty
something?
sure
Or do you
everyone
keep
was here and they
interrupting me?
heard what
And
happened.
then he's gonna keep talking over me because he just can't stop his monkey
I mean,
instincts.
yeah, we don't
Can
want to
you?
hear like a
Yeah, and
synopsis
now
of the
you're stumbling
conversation.
through your sentence, and you can't even
All
actually
you have to do is
articulate.
mute
Don't
live.
limit
Sorry,
my
Ravi, I'm not
sentence.
Lower the
talking to you.
volume.
He's
And
gonna
then
try to
Go
he's
find
gonna
your
try to use
sources.
like
correct
the
me.
cringe
You're
Discord rhetoric against me
really
right now. Are you
confused,
serious? This is your
You're
best
really
attempt.
confused.
Discord rhetoric?
What are you talking about? You're a victim of most
Can you get
Discord
the studies, please?
debaters.
Stop wasting fucking time. Get the studies.
Okay, and he's
You're
a
wasting
victim of
time.
most Discord debaters, by the way. And that's
Lower
why
the
he,
volume
that's
and
why
go
he
find the
gets that idea.
source.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why he has
That's
that memory.
wow,
He has
that's
bad
hilarious.
memory.
Oh wow, Kay's a victim. Woohoo. Get the studies.
Just lower your volume so you don't hear us and go get the source.
Look at
You
these
can
people like
choose to
that.
ignore us.
How sad does your life have to be? He's a victim of Discord people. He's a victim of this. He's a sad. Sad as hell. And the reason why this person is getting so defensive is because they got caught up in a lie. And you're getting called out on it in front of 99 people. You feel embarrassed. That's why you're doing this weird rhetoric thing, trying to insult people, calling people monkeys. It's like a defense tactic. We're not idiots. We're not dumb, right? These people are grown adults. We all see through this bullshit. We're not in high school.
I have
You have
three
the studies.
sources. Are you ready?
Huh?
I have three sources.
And what are these sources going to say?
It's just gonna explain how most people, most people want to come to the conclusion about what personhood is, and it explains it.
It
almost just
explains how
only in
most people
2 out
want
of
to.
3
Hold on, I just want to
studies
understand
that-
what you're saying. I want to understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It explains how most people, quote, want to come to the conclusion about what a person is. Do you understand that's not what we asked you for? We didn't ask you for you to cite us studies of philosophers coming to the conclusion. We asked you to cite studies of how they came to your conclusion, not just the conclusion.
That wasn't even the actual question that you asked me.
Are you,
You
what do you
asked
think
me,
we're talking
you
about? Are
asked
we not
me,
talking
how
about
do
your
most
analysis of
philo-
what a person is?
You asked me, what's the proof that most philosophers come to this consensus of personhood?
Yeah,
That was the
your,
question you
what
asked
do you
me.
think this refers to? This is as in your analysis of what a person is. Who else would be? How are people this dumb? I don't get it. What did you think you were talking about? Did you think I expected you to cite me a study of some other conclusion of what a person is other than yours? If that was the case, how the fuck is it a motivation for your view?
Sorry, was that a rhetorical question, or
No,
were you
it was a
actually
serious
asking?
question. It was like a, oh wow, like you can't be this fucking stupid type of question. It was that type of question. Because what are
Or
you
do you
doing right
want
now?
the studies, or do you want to continue to
I
vent?
want a study that demonstrates that there's a consensus amongst
Of
academia
course.
on your specific analysis of what a person is. Not just any analysis, not just, oh, well, you know, these philosophers thought that being an animal makes us people. These
Do you
philosophers
understand
thought
my
that
notion
having
of
a
what a
mind
person
is what
is?
makes us people. Yeah, you think that being a person is something which entails some phenomenal properties, correct?
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Great. Did I pass your little test? Are you happy? Now bring
It
me the
wasn't a
study.
test. It was just a question, so I can.
Okay. Can you bring the study?
Okay, there's 3 studies, and one of them is from like the NIH, and it's talking about personhood
The
and then identity.
NIH. So it's talking about personal identity. Great.
It's
Does it
talking
say?
about
Does it
the
say? Does
consensus
it
of
say?
personhood, and most people agreeing to what the notion of personhood is. I guess
It's talking
among
about
most
that. Okay.
philosophers, and
Okay.
then the other 2 studies actually get in depth about
So
the
what I'm gonna have you
philosophers that
do?
agree with that consensus.
So what? You still have Discord, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you send me that link to that study. I'm gonna open it up in my Discord real quick, and then I'm gonna read that study and see if that study actually demonstrates that there's like somehow this consensus amongst academia. And by the way, before I read this study, did the study say that greater than 50% of philosophers endorse a view of personhood where it entails phenomenal properties?
I would have to check again.
You would have to
Out
check.
of the one, I would check all
Have
3
you read the study?
studies. Yes.
Okay, that seems like the most important part of the study, right?
Okay. I
So
mean,
why do you have to
that's
check?
fine. I think it's one of the most important parts of the study. Yeah, it's
And you
fine.
have to check for that? Shouldn't you already know that if
Yes,
you've read the study?
because yes, because all 3 studies say something different.
Right.
But I
So if
think
you
all 3 studies say something over 50%.
you think all 3 studies say over
Yes.
50%. You think.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
we can check, and then yeah, I'll send it to you on Discord, and then we can check together. That's fine.
Yeah, you can send it right under all the other messages of you begging me to teach you philosophy. Just
Yeah,
sit
no
right there.
one
Link.
did that.
Okay.
Is the title of the study Personhood and Essential Characteristics of Human Species?
Yeah.
Okay, let me read up on this as well.
What's your Discord?
What's my Discord? You forgot my Discord. Did you forget it when you were begging me to teach you philosophy?
I weren't begging. I wasn't begging.
I
Remember,
weren't
I
begging?
told you to join
You
my
weren't-
shirt.
I
That's all
weren't
told you to
begging?
do. And I was
Now
like
you can't
back
even
in,
speak
that
fucking
was
proper
back in
English.
January. I didn't.
You're like
Sorry.
trying to be rhetorical against the guy who you were asking to
Are
teach
you
you philosophy.
joking? I don't know why you like want to do that here.
Just
I mean, like I
Kojo.
can just bring up the stuff that you were doing,
ZT,
but I don't
KOJO.
feel like confident. I'm sorry, I don't really feel like bringing that stuff up.
JU,
But it's fine.
ZT, KOJO.
Alright.
That's the Discord. These kids, man, they read like 3 fucking papers. I don't get it. They read like 3 papers and they swear they're the smartest fucking person on the planet.
And I want to be clear, the conclusion of the first one, either the NIH doesn't state that over 50% of philosophers believe this.
Say, Chase, repeat yourself.
The first study that the NIH or they did not come to the conclusion that over 50% of philosophers stated this. The first one doesn't.
So her own study is not supporting her claim.
It doesn't state it at all explicitly in there.
Wow.
So yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out this link real quick.
How's everyone's day today? I hope everyone's
Literally, the
well.
first fucking thing that I see in the abstract is talking about a comparison between essential views of personhood, which is more like capacity-based ontology views. So that's where you have like your Aristotelians, you have your substance-oriented views, and then it talks about the distinction between those and psychological views and bodily. Words that it uses relational construct views. So literally in the abstract, it's already making a distinction between those 2 views. Can you just tell me where in this study it says specifically, or even hints at the idea that there's like this generally accepted notion in academia? Just tell me where in that link so I can just go right to it to read the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, I got you. You just gotta go to David Chalmers and then he'll tell you.
David fucking Chalmers, bro. I remember when I read David Chalmers, man. And it's crazy too, because Ash literally just recently found out about David Chalmers. And for some reason, they think they can like compete. I don't know.
What's wrong with David Chalmers?
Can you just answer my question? Can you tell me where in that first link that you sent that even hints at the idea of the general consensus so I can just go right to it?
It was. I think it was on like the second page. There's
You
like
think?
a second page.
Do you think, or you
Yeah.
know that it was on the second
Well,
page?
there's 3 studies that I have to go through. So yeah, I think it was on the
I
second.
mean, you're the one who decided to do 3, so I don't know why.
Yeah,
you're
it's
like,
fine. And I sent you the other
okay, so you're
link
saying
to
on the
it.
second page of the first link, it's gonna say what? Let me just go. I don't see what you're saying in here. Does anyone else have this pulled up? Rancho, Chase. Does anyone else have it pulled up?
I only have the NIH one pulled up. I don't have any other one. And because I knew
About the one that's titled an essential characteristic of the human species, personhood, by the NIH. Yeah, just you guys kind of scroll through that because I'm not finding what she's saying is in there. All I'm seeing the study talk about is the comparison between, again, essential based views, that's like the Aristotelian people, and relational views, that's more like the bodily identity psychological theory people. And it says that it's going to give a rigorous analysis of both.
that's all the study says. It's just that it's the point of this study is just to argue that the existential view, but it's not saying anything about the fact that the view that Ash is positing is the majority. It's just a comparison.
Okay, so what am I missing here, Ash? Because your first link does not support your claim. It actually supports my claim, ironically, because it demonstrates that there's a disparity in people's beliefs on what makes us people.
And we're referring to the first link?
Yeah, the first link, yeah.
Well, there's a second page, and I was looking at that. I can screenshot it. Give me a
You're not going to find it because there's not, Cass. This is on topic, Tyler. Just because you're not following doesn't mean it's on topic.
So now we have to rely on the two out of 3 studies that exist, since the first one doesn't support it.
Who is Curtis? I'll allow Curtis to answer that question for themselves.
What I'm seeing here is that there's literature and stuff at the bottom of the like the entire study. There's links at the bottom of the study that refer to literature that to philosophers that use that type of notion of personhood.
That's not what we asked. We didn't ask you to cite us philosophers who use the notion of personhood. We asked you to cite us a source which demonstrates that a majority of philosophers align themselves with this notion. Not that there are people who use personhood language in that way.
It seems like at the bottom of the page, if you were to go look, okay, it seems like
what you just said, the bottom of the pages is not what we're looking for. So why would I waste my time?
Yeah, that is what you're looking.
No, it's not. We didn't ask you to say.
It definitely is what you're looking for. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know why you're telling me what I'm looking for when I'm.
Yeah, because that is what you're looking for, and that's what we've been talking about for over an hour.
You're wrong.
That's exactly what you're looking for.
It's actually not, and I'll tell you exactly what we're looking for.
I can't.
You actually are. You've been wrong several times. So what we're actually wrong. You are.
You can keep saying that I'm wrong.
I mean, I'm gonna not just say. I'm not just gonna say you're wrong. I'm gonna prove.
You get dopamine off of thinking that you're right, but you're not.
I don't have to think I'm right, especially when I know that I am. Right now, again,
sure.
You are.
I grant that you think you know you are.
You don't have to grant anything. You don't have to grant anything for it to be true. That's the funny part.
It's just not true.
I mean, you're saying that it's not true, yet you're like literally.
And then I cited at the bottom of the page, at the bottom of the study, how there are philosophers that use that notion of personhood.
Is that what we asked, Curtis?
Yes, I don't know who that is.
You cannot wait to get the live recording.
Is that what we asked, Curtis? Yes or no?
I don't know who that is. You can address me accordingly.
You can address? Why are you like? Why is your English like degrading in real time? When you
what are you talking about? You literally have the most Nigerian accent on the live. What are you talking about? And you stuttered over 15 times in a conversation, and now when I stutter once, and then when I mispronounce something once, it's a big deal.
Okay, you know what? You're doing the distraction.
Yeah, that's fine.
Distraction thing again. Did we ask?
You're the one that brought it up.
We
didn't have to have a conversation about it, but you brought it up once again.
Hey, calm down.
What do you mean, calm down?
Hey,
You're the one that
hey,
brought it up.
hey, relax. Yes or
Why are
no?
you doing this
Hey,
little
just calm
reverse
down.
psychology on me like that?
Just relax, my guy. Just relax, dude. Just calm down. After this, I'll take you. We'll get some ice cream. It'll be all good, man. You'll be straight.
As long
I
as
did
it's
not ask
vanilla
you.
and rainbow
We did not
sprinkles,
ask.
that's fine. But listen,
No, you're not. You're asking too much. Okay. See, this is what happens. You give these fools.
okay, so you just say that
give
you're
this-
too broke for that. That's fine.
You give
But
these fools. You give
I
these
already
fools a little bit
told
of an
you,
inch,
and I
they want
already
to take
gave
a
you
mile.
the study, and
Look,
then I gave you like
the
3
study
other
that you-
studies, and those are bonus studies.
Number one, the study that you cited is not something which is in support of your claim. Number one. Number
Yes,
two,
it is.
what you're
And I already
saying.
told you it's at the bottom of the
Can you
study, bro.
See, you're terrified of what I'm going to say. That's why you keep talking over me, because
All
you
right,
know I'm
go
going to expose you right now. You know I'm going to expose you. Now, you're saying, oh, well, if you just go to the bottom of the study, Kay, it's going to say that there's these philosophers who use personhood in this way. Fine. Nobody's contending that, my dog. Nobody here is saying that there aren't philosophers who use the psychological language when it comes to personhood. Yes, we agree. We know there's people like that. So if that's what you're saying I should go look for, I'm not going to do that, because I already know that to be the case. And nobody here is contending that. What is in contention is the following claim. Most philosophers do, in fact, endorse a psychological theory of personal identity or personhood. That is the claim that you're supposed to be supporting. You have not done that. The first study did not do that. Telling me, oh, well, just go to the bottom of the page and it'll show you philosophers who speak this way, also doesn't do that. So what's the evidence that you actually have?
You're saying that, sorry, I kind of wasn't listening towards that. And you said that the other studies don't provide that as well? Or that just
talking about
the
the first study.
specifics? Okay.
We're not rewriting history, because why in the world would I accept a motivating reason to be, oh, well, some philosophers think this way, so you should too? Like, why would I?
That
The
was just, yeah,
other
that was just one
philosophers
motivation.
disagree. So, like, why would I accept that?
That's
Clearly,
fine.
you
And then we
stated
can-
earlier there was a
Okay,
general
Reverie,
consensus.
did you
of
ever
your
do the
personhood
compare and
view.
contrast?
And I cannot wait for the. It's okay. I'm not even gonna listen. I cannot wait for the
Did
live
you do
recording of
comparing
this.
and contrasting?
I cannot wait for the live recording of this, because it's just going to prove that you made the original claim and now you're changing it, trying to rewrite history. When why in the world would I accept that as an independent motivating reason if we were to believe you right now?
I mean, to be fair, Reverie, I think in some cases, the fact that most philosophers converge on a specific topic should motivate any rational person, right? But that's not always true. It really depends on what you're talking about. But so, I'm fine. I'm happy saying that, yes, the fact, like, if it's true that, philosophers, especially in like fields of personal identity and personhood and all these kind of things, if it's the case that they really do endorse this view that you're saying, then that would in fact be motivation. So provide the evidence that that is the case.
And also, just before I respond, I just calm down. Just before I respond to okay. Also, like, if there are there's going to be philosophers that disagree on that specific topic, and it's really contended with. But also, we can just compare and contrast views and see which one is the better alternative. I don't see why that's like an issue. That's something that we can also do, because I know you did that in school.
I agree. I agree we can do that, but that's not what you said, right? When she asked you the question about like why, or when she asked you, pretty sure the question that she asked you was why you pro-choice or something along those lines. Whatever conversation you guys were having, you're the one who decided to cite this as your thing, like your evidence for your argument, right? Nobody made you cite philosophers, right? Which would require empirical investigation, which is what we're doing right now. Nobody
Well,
made
did you listen to David Chalmers? Like, obviously, what he
Did I
says is
listen
true.
to David Chalmers? I could lecture you every day of the year about David Chalmers and then
All right,
some,
no, thank
right?
you.
So I don't know why you're asking me about David Chalmers. You literally just found out
It was a
about David
joke.
Chalmers. You just found out about David Chalmers. I've been reading David Chalmers, like, it's been like 5 years now at this point, probably.
Yeah, we get it. You're
So don't talk to me about David
David
Chalmers. Trust me, I know who David Chalmers is, and I've read his work. Now I'm just asking you to provide the motivation.
Listen,
for
they're
believing in it.
okay. All right, hold on. Okay, so they're in the studies. I sent you 4 studies altogether. Now,
You understand-
can you
you
look
understand
at
that
all 4
sending me-
studies? Sorry, just stop. Can you
That's
look at
just
all,
unproductive.
are you serious? Okay, so you're not gonna look at all 4 studies?
I'm not saying that I'm not going to look at it. I'm saying that
Okay,
I will
then-
look at it on the condition that it's actually worth our time to look through these 4 studies. Because what if
I
we
mean,
look through these 4
that's
studies?
not something
What
for
if-
me
what
to
if-
decide
what if-
whether it's worth your time.
No,
or
it is
not.
because it's your study. What do you mean? What if we look through these 4 studies?
Okay,
Wait,
so
hold on.
I should just decide everybody's time.
No,
And
I'm
if you
not
guys
saying-
want to listen, everyone stay in the live.
I'm
if
not
you
saying
really want to
that.
listen to this.
I'm not saying that, Curtis. What
Yeah,
I'm
you
saying
are.
is-
Sorry,
what
I need you to address me
and
accordingly.
there
Just
you
address
go.
me
And there
accordingly.
you
don't
go
be
doing
weird.
the thing again, where you're like being schizophrenic, thinking that
No,
I'm
just
saying things
address
I'm
me
not saying.
accordingly, because I don't know
Well,
who that person is.
you don't know who Curtis is? That's you. You
Never
decided
heard
to
of that
research
person,
it.
by the way.
You've never heard of Curtis. Wow, interesting. That's funny.
Never.
So anyway, moving aside, look, we already know that the first study that you cited did not support your claim. So you know, that's already a knock off the thing. Now, we can do this thing where we go through the next 3 studies, but given the fact that your first one did not support your claim, we're not exactly motivated to go through the next 3, given that they also likely will not support your claim. So instead of wasting everyone's time by reading through 4 independent studies, why don't you just tell us which
No, we can.
portions of the first study
No,
that
we
you
can just
cited,
go through the
which
entire 4
demonstrates,
studies.
I'm almost finished the question. We can just talk about the first study. You just take it slow, one step at a time, right? I know you like to do this thing where you think you know everything because you read a bunch of papers all at one time. You don't, right? I'm just going to ask you about the first study that you cited and where in the first study you believe supports the claim that you made.
Okay, now before I answer the question, I'm just going to respond to what you said. Okay, we can waste everyone's time and go through all the 4 studies. That's what we can do.
I just said we're not going to do that.
But that's what you suggested that we do.
It's not. I just gave you my
It
suggestion.
is that you did suggest that. I mean,
you
you
not hear
suggested
what I
that I
said?
should decide everyone's time and go through all 4 studies. So that's what I want to do. We can decide that.
Okay. So what
Alright.
was the response that you had?
Oh, the response that I gave that I said was before the question, that's also the answer to the question.
I'm going to give you one last chance. And after this, if you don't answer the question, I'm going to step back out and let whoever else take care of it. That's completely fine. I'm going to ask you one more
Yeah, I want to
time.
have a conversation with Chase.
Wait, stop talking. I'm going to ask you one more time. Please just stop talking so I can ask this last and final question, because very clearly you have eroded this conversation. You are becoming a waste of time, right? So I'm just going to ask you one final time. Is it the case that you can point us to any specific portion of the study, or even if it's a paragraph, a page, an abstract, whatever, point us to somewhere in the study that you cited, the first one, we're not going to run through all 4, because again, I don't even want to. Given the fact that the first one did not support your claim, I'm pretty confident that the next 3 likely will also not support your claim. And the reason why I know that is because you have very low comprehension skills. You don't actually understand how to comprehend the information that you read. You just know how to read enough information to be able to regurgitate, right? You're one of those people. But moving that aside, do you have any specific portion in the study which you can point us to, which illustrates that it is the case that philosophers do in fact converge on psychological theory being the correct notion of personhood?
All right, and just before I answer the question again, I don't just regurgitate everything that these papers say. I don't know why he's lying. This is obviously not true, and he doesn't even know me well enough to say that.
Wow, that was super convincing, man. Good job.
I mean, it's just not true. I mean, like, anyone that knows me knows that actually.
You ever thought about acting, Ash? You ever thought about that? You should go into acting. You have a really successful career. Good job.
Yeah, I think so too. I appreciate it.
Now, can you answer my question now?
Yeah, okay, so the question was, I just want to clarify before I answer. How do we, or sorry, is it the case that, or is there any percentage that most philosophers go under this notion? That was the question.
Jesus Christ. Rancho, do you want to talk to this person?
I
Sure.
was just asking if that was the question so I can answer correctly.
Oh, you boss.
What do you
Go
mean?
ahead.
Gosh, okay. From what I found, it seems
I
that
already gave him the other 3 studies, bro.
and that's fine. But from what I saw, and just looking at like the normal empirical evidence, like the latest Phil paper survey, the 2 things are about 36% of correspondents subscribe to some sort of psychological account. So the majority would be they either hold to animalism or, broadly speaking, some sort of soul view, or the majority of them just take some other fact.
Whoa, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, Rancho? So
And I was looking at studies that, sorry, you just said that I can talk to Rancho. Now you're like continuing to speak.
Well, I'm just
to him,
emphasizing the fact that Rancho. Remember when you said Rancho was helping me?
Did you want to have a conversation with Rancho?
I agree. Rancho,
or
is
was I
helping
allowed
me,
to have
and
a conversation with
Rancho
Rancho?
just did a beautiful
All right,
job.
Rancho, he's going to
illustrating
talk to you now
facts
because he decides he.
that I was actually right the whole time. And you know why Rancho knows that? Because Rancho is not a regurgitator. Rancho is a comprehender. Rancho actually knows the stuff that he talks about, and you can hear it when he talks. Unlike you, where you cite bullshit studies that you have barely fucking read, and then when we ask you questions about it, you're like, I think maybe it might be on, right? You give these types of responses because you have no fucking clue what you're citing. You are not able to comprehend the information that you are citing, and that's why you're being called out for your bullshit. And instead of being honest and being like, you know what? This is not my thing. I haven't read about this. I don't know much about this area of philosophy, so I'm not even going to make any claims on it. Instead of doing that, you decided to get rhetorical and call me a monkey and say all these things that you had to say while getting your back fucking blown out on a very simple point. This isn't even a substantive philosophical debate. This is literally a basic point which you are just flat out wrong about, and your ego prevents you from just admitting that. Instead, you lie your way through. So, I mean, go ahead. Go ahead and lie to Rancho too and tell him that he's wrong. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to reply to Rancho that there was just, okay, so there weren't specific, what's it called, like percentages, but they did cite like how, I guess most modern philosophers hold to that type of notion of personhood in the other 3 studies that I was looking at, and which is the same studies that I sent to Kay.
Wait, I'm just saying, like, okay, one, it seemed that it was. I mean, I don't know, but as per your past conversation, it seemed that information wasn't like able to be extracted, and also when,
Information was extracted. I sent it to him.
like, yeah, I know you said the studies, but I'm talking about the specific claim that the majority of philosophers converge on some sort of PI view.
PI? Oh, personal identity?
Yeah, yeah. Or like they hold to some sort of psychological account of personal identity. But the other information that would also be a challenge is if they hold to psychological views, then they would believe that the teletransporter cases lead to survival. But the majority of them either say it leads to death, or the teletransporter cases lead to some other fact where it's like it's not survival or death.
Well, I'm not even familiar with that case.
Bruh.
And that's like the fundamental case in PI.
Rancho, do my
Can you
ears
just
deceive
tune
me?
him out? Just tune him out.
No.
Explain the case. Okay, so
Do
you're
my
not gonna let him
fucking
explain
ears
it.
deceive me? This person is making a claim on what most philosophers believe about personhood and personal identity, and you don't know what teletransporter cases are. Do my ears fucking deceive me? Do you understand what I mean when I say people read to regurgitate, Rancho?
Yeah, I mean,
If
I
you
don't
had a
know.
comprehensive understanding of personal identity and you weren't just regurgitating shit about it like Ash is doing currently, she wouldn't be saying PI, teletransporter, those are things that idiots who are pretending like they know what they're talking about. That's what they sound like, right? They sound confident initially on the surface when they're talking to people like Reverie, and then they come across people like me, and you ask them, the relevant questions, and then it's maybe like what? Come on, man. Just stop, Ash.